Deep in the heart of the San Emigdio Mountains lies Mount Pinos and the Condor Summit and Sawmill Mountain. The Chumash people once roamed these mountains. The Condor Summit is named after the California condor that could often be seen soaring above the mountains. The Chumash people regard the condor as sacred and represents survival of the Chumash people. It also represents the power of balance of all living things that are sacred. This area was created 100 million years ago. From its 8,831 foot summit, you can see the Cess, Dick Smith, San Rafael, Chumash wilderness areas. Today we're going to summit Mount Pinos, the Condor Observation Summit, and Sawmill Mountain. It's approximately 7.2 miles round trip. Now, on to the hike. The hike begins right here at this parking lot at the Nordic base. And through the hike, you'll be met with forest, and you'll have to go past this gate. The trail starts out pretty wide path, nothing too crazy, just forest. When you get to this point, you're just going to go on the left side up. And there's approximately 1.7 miles from here to reach the Condor Summit. And you will see this tree with carvings of people's names on it. You'll pass this enormous rock on the way up. There's 150 different plant species on this trail, which includes snowberry, lupine, gooseberry, and duckweed. On this trail, you will witness subalpine, white fir, and Jeffrey pine trees throughout the trail. Once you make it past that first opening, you'll go past this wooded section. And past that, there will be another clearing. And that clearing will be coming up in just a bit, which is right here. And from this distance, you're going to see a satellite tower. That satellite tower will be the Mount Pinos Summit. And we're going to make a right up the trail right here to the Mount Pinos Summit. And from this point, you can see views of the mountains. Down there is Pine Mountain Club, Fraser Park, Lake of the Woods. And on the other side of that mountain range would be Kern County. You can see farmland from a distance. That'll be just outside Bakersfield, California. And you can see some of the elevation gain to the summit, approaching the satellite. And that's where we came up through, up that path right there. It's pretty sunny today. And we have arrived to the first summit. And somebody left a plaque right here. So this is around 8,000 feet. Now going on to the Condor site. And you'll see a picnic bench right there and a sign telling you about the wildlife. And it actually has pictures of the different types of wildlife that you could spot on this mountain. And right here is the Vincent. I can't pronounce his last name, but he was a Native American who was part of the Chumash people. And as mentioned before, the Chumash people roamed these lands once. And you will continue on the trail. And right here, you could actually see the other side of the mountain range. And right here, the path is pretty narrow. It winds down through switchbacks. So right here, you're going to be pretty exposed with little tree coverage until you get down a bit more and you'll be back in the woods. And you'll come across this Chumash Wilderness sign letting you know that you're entering the Chumash Wilderness. And back in the woods, the trail becomes very primitive at this point. Very narrow, very rocky. And this mountain is pretty dry. There isn't a lot of creeks, a lot of rivers within this trail. So you might want to bring a lot of water with you, so you won't have to worry about filling up. More views of the mountains from a distance. And we have arrived to Sawmill Mountain. And when you get there, you're going to notice this stacked rocks that are formed. So this is a pretty iconic view of Sawmill Mountain. And right here is the plaque. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the plaque. And it's slightly shorter than Mount Pinos. Not by much. Still a pretty good sized mountain. But from here, you're going to be able to see all these beautiful views. Down there's Pine Mountain Club. On the other side of the mountain range is Kern County and Bakersfield from a distance. Yeah, that down there, where that little meadow's at, and on the other side of that mountain range, Kern County. So I'm going to go ahead and get some aerial footage in a bit. I'll just give the viewer another view of what to expect and what you're going to see when you get to this point. So you're going to get a lot of neat views up here, above the pines, above the mountain. Aerial footage of the San Emigdio Mountains. This is a great hike, especially if you want to start doing peaks and summits. And you could also head up to Goose Mountain, which is another 1.5 miles past Sawmill. Or you could just make it a short hike and head to Mount Pinos. Or if you want to do Sawmill Mountain, that's another 2 miles, I believe, from Mount Pinos. So you do get some pretty awesome views of these mountains from up here. And this trail is pretty steep. It's not scary, but it's pretty steep. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.